there's nothing like being face to face in a room with someone and having more productive conversations.
We all got to a point where networking online, you almost plateau, you almost come to that point where you're like, I just want to get face to face now.
It's not looking for the immediate effects of meeting someone and thinking we're going to do something now. It may take a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a couple of years.
It can be awkward, it can be uncomfortable, but you have to put yourself in those positions. I mean, our next event, really exciting, 28th of July.
It's going to be bigger, better, more sponsors, some really good people to network with.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, I welcome again Mr. Paul Stapleton, Casita Properties.
Thank you, mate.
Back in the hot seat again. And today, for everyone, we're going to be talking about the importance of networking. So we were talking about this off air, on the side, and we thought, you know what, it's a really important talking point. So let's kick it off. Networking has been huge for both me and you in these last few months. It's always been a big part of what I do, but what have you sort of come to learn or come to realize actually about the power, especially now that we can go back to face-to-face meeting, and also our event kind of opened up our eyes, didn't it?
I think during lockdown, obviously Zoom, virtual meetings, they played a part. But I think there were so many distractions going on in the background, and you've seen so many memes of people's kids coming in and everything like that, that you almost didn't consume everything that was being spoken about on an event or on a call. And I think just there's nothing like being face to face in a room with someone and having more productive conversations.
Yeah. You know, I remember when we were all on Zoom, like you say, you know, kids coming in, distractions, stuff like that. It was great, but I think we all got to a point where networking online, you almost plateau, you almost come to that point where you're like, I just want to get face to face now, because you don't, you know, you lose that element, don't you? But the actual importance of networking to any business is huge, because I think business scalability growth comes from opportunity. And unless you're meeting new people and new doors are being opened, the opportunity never really arises. You're kind of always, you're a bit isolated, you're a bit in your own bubble. So, you know, it is so important that you do go out and you meet new people, because you never know who someone is. And I think, I don't know if this was yesterday that we were talking about it, but, you know, an individual I've just met, I've had a great conversation with, you know, I'd love to do some work with him, is that relationships are built up slowly, but you never really know what's around the corner, whether you're going to work with them now or in 6 months' time. And we mentioned that yesterday, didn't we?
Well, yeah. And I think we're a perfect example of that. We initially touched base maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then nothing kind of happened in between, but then persistence pays off, and obviously we are where we are. But yeah, I think it's not looking for the immediate effects of meeting someone and thinking we're going to do something now. It may take a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a couple of years, but it's just keeping in contact with those people and not letting that first meeting go to waste.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, when they meet for the first time, I wouldn't say expect, but they almost hope that something comes out the first. We've all been there. We've all done it.
Social media, isn't it? It's immediate gratification.
It is, yeah. But we have all been there. But I think you do learn, you know, a lot of people, they set up meetings that don't necessarily generate anything. I mean, we spoke about this with Kieran and James, is that, you know, you set up a lot of meetings, but you might get off a call or a face-to-face meeting, you think that was great, but until it actually comes to life or something happens from it, I think now I take it with a pinch of salt. You know, I don't tend to set up meetings unless I really feel that there's synergy between the individuals, you know, and you really look to have something from that meeting. So, I mean, that's a big point, isn't it? You know, to anyone new watching this thinking they're going to go around the world networking, well, actually, handbrake on, you might want to be a little bit more picky, mightn't you?
Yeah, and I can't remember, one of the guests that we had on said, when people say, oh, I'm in town, do you want to meet for a coffee? And he says, the first question he always asks is, what's it for? And he's like, because I'm too busy during the working day to waste my time having a coffee if it doesn't result in business. Outside of work, weekend, evenings, fine. Working hours, there has to be some element of there being some form of business now, in the future, or some sort of takeaway, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, because networking as well, you know, it's great. My view on it now, from what I've learned, networking, I love it, but I've also learned that the most important thing is time. So you have to look at that return on time invested. If you're going to go and meet someone, you really have to kind of weigh up, okay, how long am I meeting them for? How much am I paying? Even down to the food, the coffee, who's paying? And some people may not think that, but
unless
I
you
do.
get sponsors.
Yeah, unless you get unless you get a sponsor. But you really kind of have to weigh it up. And I think in your early days, I think if you're just starting out, I think get yourself out there, meet as many people, open your eyes to the possibilities of what you could do in business or entrepreneurship or whatever it is you're interested in. But then there comes a point of actually, I've got to weigh up the cost, my time, and everything like that. So networking's great, but you do have to eventually calculate what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think I was guilty for attempting to do a networking event on Zoom during lockdown, and I think the biggest problem we faced was connection. So many people's connections were in and out because everyone was working from home, so just the broadband was awful. B, people coming in and out of the rooms. And also, when you're at a networking event, there could be 20 people having 10 conversations. There could be 10 pairs having conversations. Virtually networking, you can't do that. Only one person can talk, and then you start talking, someone else starts talking, and then it's, oh, no, go and you say. No, go, you say. And then it's almost like the moment's passed. And I found it I think the word's awkward. I think it was very awkward, very clumsy. I don't feel that I went on any virtual networking events that I came away from thinking that was really good. I've met some really good people, because you just didn't have that time or the actual moment to speak to the person you wanted to speak to, unless it was off air. So face-to-face networking events for me, and the right events as well. And I think that's what we've touched on before as well.
Yeah. Do you know the other thing you can't do with Zoom? I said this to many people, is that they can be great, and I think it's more of a learning process, not so much networking, because you don't get that interaction. But the other thing with face-to-face networking, which can be amazing, is that if you go in somewhere where they've got like canapes and drinks and stuff like that, is if you don't get a chance to speak to everyone, which we don't, in the allotted time, you don't get a chance to speak to everyone, or if you don't know who to speak to. But sometimes after the event is where you can actually do real networking, because people go, oh, you come into this bar, or, you come in for some food and stuff like that. And it's after the networking event, if you're willing to go on and carry on talking to people, that's actually when things can get done, especially over a drink. Normally people
definitely
relax, and it can be awkward, it can be uncomfortable, but you have to put yourself in those positions. So I've always found the face-to-face ones, sometimes there's not an after party, but there is an after dinner or some drinks, and that's when you can say, all right, I'm going to speak to you. Didn't get a chance to speak to you. So again, it comes down to that managing your time at the event.
And I think just touching on our event, I know you and I hardly had a chance to interact with anyone at the event, especially being the first one. And from that, I've had some really, really good meetings, as you know, from attendees. But I think the beauty of what we did with the event was the QR code, whereby you had the socials of every attendee. So if you didn't get to interact with those people, it was very easy after as well for you to go off and interact with them outside of the event as well.
Yeah, that's another point. I think it's the right time that we touch on it, is that we were kind of forward thinking in the sense of, you don't get to meet everyone. So having that QR code just opened the doors to everyone. So you can kind of reflect and go away in your own time and think, oh, I didn't get a chance. But you can see their socials. It's great seeing a name, isn't it? But when you can see who they are on social media. Our next event, really exciting, 28th of July. For anyone watching this, if you do want to get involved, I think what we might be able to do, I did it last time, but perhaps we can do a bit of an offer. If you DM us, connect with both of us and put 28th of July discount, get in contact and maybe we'll work something out. So if you haven't been, it's an incredible event, and we're really looking forward to it, aren't we?
We are. It's going to be a great event. Venue's amazing. I think the venue's going to make it as well. We've got some great speakers. It's going to be bigger, better, more sponsors, some really good people to network with, a bar, DJ. Don't really know what more you want from an event, to be fair.
Yeah, and look, for anyone watching this, we said this before, we've kept peak performance very open in terms of, if you attend a first event or a second event or a third event, we still want people to go, I'm coming to the next one, because it's a different theme, but it's still broad enough to all business owners, newbies, people just wanting to learn, better themselves, aspiring entrepreneurs, whoever you are. And the theme for this one that we're going to put together is how to generate online passive income. So because we are in a world where people are earning a lot of money online, and it's about time that if people are willing to learn, there are other options than your traditional manual labor to earn money. You can move online and earn a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, I think when we picked the lineup as well, we really focused on people that had really built a really big brand and online presence, and also good online products as well. And I think we feel that they're probably the best people in the industry to talk on that subject as well.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. The event, we're bringing on speakers where you can listen, learn, and then hopefully go on to apply. And then we put on a good night overall anyway. And it's a good buzz, isn't it? So for all of you that have watched so far, thank you so much. Paul, thanks for joining us again. And again, get in contact, follow both Paul and myself, and we look forward to seeing you at the event.